They were going to stab us all in the back from day one. Theresa May deliberately negotiated a crappy deal, knowing it would be rejected so as to create the pretext for cancelling Brexit. If you enter into a negotiation with no limits on the length to which you'll compromise, that's not a negotiation, that's a capitulation. That's surrender from the start. This has been one long process in managed surrender.
My right honourable friend, and she is unquestionably honourable, said that we would leave the customs union. Annex 2 says otherwise. My right honourable friend said that she would maintain the integrity of the United Kingdom. A whole protocol says otherwise. My right honourable friend said that we would be out of the jurisdiction of the European Court of Justice. Article 174 says otherwise. As what my right honourable friend says and what my right honourable friend does no longer match. This is not Brexit. This is a failure of government policy. It needs to be rejected.
I mean, for God's sake, her chief negotiator, the guy cutting the deal, Ollie Robbins, was a staunch communist who defended Stalin. What did you expect? Now, Theresa May is threatening no Brexit whatsoever if her shit sandwich of a deal gets rejected. Which it will, and that was the plan all along. I knew this is what would happen because it's a tried and tested EU model. Give people the illusion of choice, the facsimile of democracy. Let them vote, but if their vote defies the EU, just sabotage the process, or make them vote again and again and again until you get the result you want. Citizens across the continent voted to reject the Maastricht Treaty, to reject the Nice Treaty, to reject the EU Constitution, to reject the Lisbon Treaty, to reject the Euro bailout. Every time the votes were ignored, emphasising the fundamentally anti-democratic nature of the European Union.
We are being asked to sign up to a deal that doesn't really give us Brexit, that betrays the greatest democratic exercise in this country. But I have to say, tonight, I'm feeling more optimistic. I'm seeing the resignations. I think we're getting close to the end of the worst and most duplicitous Prime Minister in British history, and that will give us a chance for a fresh start.
This is also about punishing the UK to intimidate other European countries out of pursuing their own form of Brexit. This is nothing less than a complete and total betrayal of democracy. We didn't vote to sign up to everything under a different name and be the EU's bitch. We voted to leave the EU. This deal de facto keeps us in the EU, but with no say and no influence. It turns us into a slave state. And on top of that, we're handing over £39 billion for the privilege. We're the prostitutes in this exchange. We're the ones getting bent over and screwed, yet we're paying them. This deal is so awful that we'd be better off staying in the EU. And that was the plan all along. Now they're going to push for a second referendum, which includes the option of cancelling Brexit. An option that will serve as a death sentence for the very notion of Great Britain as a democratic country. Having stuck in the knife, May and her globalist cabal are now twisting it by putting the country at risk of the chilling prospect of being ruled by Jeremy Corbyn, a terrorist sympathiser who thinks that Venezuela's socialist dystopia is a model for the world.
The choice is now clear. We stand up for the United Kingdom, the whole of the United Kingdom, the integrity of the United Kingdom, or we vote for a vassal state with the breakup of the United Kingdom. That's the choice.
Theresa May never represented the interests of the United Kingdom to begin with. So how on earth is she still in power? This is it. This is our last chance to appoint a leader whose loyalties lie with their country, not with a gaggle of odious technocrats in Brussels. This is the last chance for Britain to avoid disappearing down a hard left hellhole. This is the last chance for Britain to avoid a constitutional crisis. This is sovereignty on the chopping block. This is democracy hanging by a thread.